Welcome to the second week casting for the Major League. And the second edition of the Major League even. We have this week 2 casts for you with each 2 matches that are going to be super exciting. We're going to first cast some Scout versus SykoSloth today, and then Wrestler versus Adefagesh tomorrow. Later today, sorry. And then tomorrow, we're going to have 2 more with Blood Red Yeti Magic Doer and Martini versus Lefty at the exact same time. Accompanying me today is Slappy Davis.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here. Excited for these games. And yeah, really interested to see, like, both these matches are going to be really cool. I'm actually especially interested in how the first one kind of shakes out.
And I also have Nebula on the hosting seat here. Okay. Let's get into the first match here. We've got first Scout versus SykoSloth. Both pretty good players. We've got Scout normally here being slightly higher rated by most people here, but shouldn't just rest on their laurels because SykoSloth is a very good player as well, and anything could happen.
Yeah, I'd say that Scouts, the highest highs have been higher for Scout than SykoSloth, because Scout was able to, break into SMC. I guess that was 2 seasons ago. Did Scout also make SMC 2? They might have.
Too many letters. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. I think they did.
But I know that they've been highly competitive. They generally stay in shape. So they often will just, like, I don't think they've ever done really badly, but every once in a while they'll just go off. And so their higher highs have been highs. But I'll say that SykoSloth, like, also just been more consistent. And so we'll kind of just see what kind of shape they've been in. There's just kind of always been this player base that has, like, really good, consistent results. And then every once in a while, all of a sudden, they'll become just, like, super good all of a sudden. So there's definitely the potential there, and this will be a good testing grounds for that. And I also think that, the divisions are set up pretty well, so it's not like there's huge differences between players. But this is also going to be the kind of match that both of them would have to kind of win in order to make a run at the finals. Ruby is going to be a tough spot for them to get in through. Firelord Ethan's looking really good. Gentleman is fantastic. All of them are fabulous, but this is one where if they actually want to make a run at the championship, this is the kind of match they're going to need to win.
All divisions are pretty stacked here. We've got, like, really good divisions. All matches are close. I've seen so many more ties here than in other tournaments. It's insane, really. But let's get into the draft for this match. We've got, coming up first, we got a declined ban from SykoSloth, which I like to see. I like declining bans personally. Scout has banned Aquarium. And then we're going to see doubled Modern and Ballroom, followed by singled Library and Balcony. What do you think of these venues here?
I like the fact that we have, like, all of these declines for we have 3 declines total. So Scout did decline the restrict. They're like, but actually though, no Aquarium. I actually, like, we're not doing Aquarium. But except for that, yes, we'll have a very open-ended field of potential games. As far as the games that remain, Balcony is a really interesting single pick. I would say that Double Modern, I'm just excited for it. I just think Modern's got lots of interesting options. Single Library any 5 of 8, like, singling Library is, like, one of the most common ways you see Library. It's just, like, to me, a kind of an easy single because it's very non-controversial. I feel like for a player to feel like, I'll be fine with going to Library because, I could expect to split it, or maybe if I am able to get a spy win off, I could somehow come away with something big there. And everybody's just kind of comfortable on it. Ballroom as a double, people just generally comfortable on it. Balcony as a single is really interesting. I just think that that's, especially with how wide open the picks are. So it is, I would almost say I would expect either Balcony to not show up at all or be a double. And it's strange for me to see it as a single. So I am interested to see if there is something specific that they're aiming for here But other than that, I think it's a great set of maps.
Yeah, this draft for me is making me think that Scout's not as comfortable as they might have been normally. Like for me, a ballroom is very, very standard, and then we're going to balcony, which is generally viewed more as a tiebreaker, not tiebreaker, more as a coin flip venue. And then we're banning aquarium, while SykoSloth's just going, okay, I don't need to ban here, and then going for fairly standard but not too standard modern and library.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I knew nothing about the other player at all, Aquarium might just be my ban anyway, just because I'm like, it's the map where you can have the most practice and tech on relative to like any other map. So it's like, just on the off chance, even if you feel good enough on all the other maps, you don't feel like you have a weak point. Aquarium is just a fine ban because you can stop them from if they cook up something super special. It's probably Aquarium. So I feel like I get that. But yeah, no, excited for these venues.
Absolutely agree. And let's get into our first game here on Modern. We're playing as Teal, if everyone's got that as well normally.
Looks like I am Teal on Modern. Looks good.
Then if we're all ready, let's 3, 2, 1, play it.
Yeah, and we'll see. So obviously, well, for Modern, because there's lots of options, there's gonna be a lot of like pace setting that we're gonna see here. The big things for Modern that's gonna separate it from the rest of the maps that we see today. Well, I guess Balcony might be a bit of exception. Is that Bug is so much more like it's so much more tentatively available. Like the big thing with Modern is for long sections of any given for long section in any given round of Modern, Bug is just not available. And that's very unique amongst the maps where often Bug is like available. It's not great, but it's like at least available in theory. But so much of the map, you're not actually available to Bug really at all.
Yeah, you said that, and then we have two guests going right next to the ambassador. Just perfect bugging position. Well, not perfect, but a nice bugging position here. We didn't want to banana bread there. We're instead going straight to statues to flirt, which is a nice 51%, and then we'll pick up some inspects as well. And then we'll see what we want to do. It's only 4 missions, unlike the standard 5, because spies weren't doing too well with 5.
Yeah, and I strongly think that was a good change way back in the day. Now it's honestly like the thing is, I think we mentioned the any 5 of 8 thing just because it's this interesting thing, but I think we've easily passed the point where we have played any 4 of 8 longer than we played any 5 of 8. And I think that it's really stuck and been well. The cool thing about us being able to pick up that flirt, we also have the delegate option, of course. Here we didn't do the direct delegate. Obviously, I think we would have been a big risk if we had tried to do that. Is that we got to be in that big conversation. So if there's any initial flirt pairing from how we started this venue, we get a 2 flirt. This was actually a really unpaced start coming into a strongly paced start. We might even send Queen if we'd be so bold to have her be slamming a book back into bookshelf. We're staying here for a while, which makes me think we might actually try to do that.
Wow.
Double agent.
Double agent decides to join us as well. Just great party movement here for us. And then it's not the greatest banana bread here. Oh, no, it's gone.
Oh, we delegate.
No.
Did we delegate? Is that what happened? I feel like we delegate. The thing popped up too soon. Did we accidentally delegate and then? So wait. Did we try to delegate and then take a banana bread so that we wouldn't have credit? Or is this just a mistake? Because that mind game would be insane. I feel like it was just a mistake because we banana breaded so soon after that delegate. So, okay, this is such interesting game theory time now. We know for a fact we have a fake, which is not actually very common to be able to say for certain with that many people in conversation. So we have a large conversation known fake. What will we actually do with that? I mean, we could have been fishing for a low light. We're going to swap is the answer. So we have a green swap here. We do get the highlight. And we need to distract using this banana bread. Almost certainly is, but she's not in conversation. This is going to be really brutal because we would really love to have a true banana bread be a distract from this. So we're going to go for a bug instead.
I think that was very visible. Now we have a low light for the statues. I think it's being checked very closely, and there's a shot.
Yeah, that was so. If so, let's be clear. I'm pretty sure the send was an accident. That must be action priorities going from the bottom. So I think that was an accident. And that we didn't have like a follow-up plan for that, so we just went for something like a green swap. I could be wrong about that because there could have been the potential for something interesting, like the true contact again when someone was going to go pick that up. So we'd have a known fake into a real contact. Second banana bread might cause some confusion, and we wouldn't be one of the people that was in like twice with double agent. But it didn't quite come together after that. I don't think we planned it because we went for that bug after that. So interesting game. I think we didn't have a plan after the fail delegate send on double agent.
Yeah, I think if we had managed to go for that banana bread and then send and it hadn't expired, then we would have been in a really good position. But instead, we were forced to swap and then bug. I don't think the bug changed much because we were really checking for that swap. But yeah, either way, we were dead probably because of that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would love to know sometime if Psycho, if you were listening to this in the future or present, tell us because I'm the idea of having the known fake or potentially having a double agent be picking up a purloin when a banana bread was going off is just really fascinating to me. It's just the timing, everything makes me feel like it was an accident. But great start. Honestly, there was a chance that we didn't catch it just because if Scout wasn't circling up on the green swap, it could have just gone through and the timer would have gone out. So not a bad swing, but Scout is able to pick it up.
Yeah, and now Scout's up 1, and we're going for very early emergency smallman. Not too sure why, but let's start this game in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, at least the premise is good, right? Like, like it's the classic like going for Smallman late. If you sprinkle in an early Smallman, you actually throw the suspicion in pretty early. We have a very quick time ad, and Smallman like this is something that I feel like most people. Oh, we're probably dead because I don't see what else that highlight could be for except for yeah, I think we're grabbing everybody at window, so we're not totally dead because it seems like there's some other highlights that are getting possible credit for time ad, but the time ad is clearly caught, and Scout is going to be climbing a huge hill for the rest of this game.
Yeah, that's going to be very difficult to go against. I think if we play fast, though, we might have a chance. We go inspect, flirt if we can in 2, and then banana bread, and then find a quick 4th mission, and then just throw the sniper off to shoot that early. I really don't like going into an empty conversation like this.
Yeah, it's tough because like you're right that the only way that we really could get a win, except for something completely insane, is probably trying to go for something early and trying to draw out a potential conflicted hesitation on the shot. But almost certainly for the people that are not highlight, like something will happen, like a banana bread's going to happen that eliminates, like let's say the other half, and then like the others are just inactive and the only activity is tracked over time on Smallman. The double bind that Scout is going to be in is Scout has added time is gonna you just have to play like you have to play like you got away with it, but with that extra time they're probably going to be playing slower, or actually not even get this flirt. I think maybe she'll nope, yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that flirt unless she had sipped. So we're going to be incentivized to play slower because we have this extra time that we got from the time ad, but it's the exact bad play for us given that it'll slowly kind of whittle down the rest of the party throughout the rest of this map.
Yeah, we were like we went to the bar and rejected the drink. We're trying to lose heat because we think we were seen. But if we were seen, you wouldn't try and lose heat because you're probably the most suspicious person here. So we have 6 suspects here, and you're the highlight one. So we managed to get a flirt off at least. So we just need 1 more green flirt. But not sure what we can do here to get more, to not get shot really.
Yeah, it's so hard to know what to do. Let's say that somehow we sniff out that we got highlight for time ad. It's so hard to know what is the right play. I do think that you do have to do this, which is you need to flirt with abandon. Like if they pair you with your seduction target, if they have that much attention on you that they really are able to track that, you are dead anyway. So I think flirting and not really worrying too much about that aspect, I feel like you just got to take that on the chin. And if it happens, it happens. You got to throw in almost certainly a banana bread, and then it's like out of the other things, it's going to be really tricky to throw in a purloin, right? Because it's going to be hard to force that coin flip and make you feel like, oh, there you go. Fingerprint is the other thing I guess you could do. But if they're watching it close enough, you're going to die, but you're going to die anyway. So, not a bad game from Scout. Excellent response from Psycho, and that's pretty much it. Game was kind of over in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, that time ad was just very unfortunate there. We just got caught, and that's it sometimes.
I'll say, actually, also excellent response from Psycho of noticing, because sometimes if I catch a person that was at Windows and there was a time ad, I will be almost certain it's them. And then over the course of the game, I'll get paranoid if they are just doing stuff and not really stabbing anything, that it could have been another person. But Psycho took that moment to really focus in on who else possibly could have did the time ad. Low lit the people they were sure about, highlight the people that they knew were at Windows, and kept everyone else neutral lit, and just probably kept an eye mostly on Smallman, who seemed to trigger their desire to keep watching whoever does the time ad. So good response by Psycho. Not a bad plan by Scout, but just got caught out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're now at 1-1 though, since Sniper Party so far. And we're moving on back to Teal. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, so now now I feel like with the gambit is interesting. So we're doing a long AI control.
Yeah.
Not like it could have gotten a little bad for us where we could have gotten like bug credit, but I think we are far enough away that we're not going to pick up anything there. We do a hard redirect into joining our seduction target here. It's interesting because it's through our double agent, so we're really piled up over here. But it might be less suspicious because we are jammed up next to the double agent, and so the only person that we could be paired with would be our SDA. And actually, this is nice. The SDA here from Irish joins even closer to make us, I think, look a little bit less suspicious even. So great start here, and Psycho actually might be able to just two-flirt this right away and have lots of options with this purloin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't like that positioning, and then the SDA came even closer, and I was like, okay, whatever, it works.
Yeah.
Because the sniper knows the SDA is not a potential spy here, so they're like, okay, well, the spy was probably fine.
Yeah, and so we have the option of taking. Yeah, I was gonna say, are we gonna take this briefcase? So we are gonna take it. We might delegate. All right. Yep. Okay, that totally makes sense. So we take a quick delegate as we pick up briefcase and walk away. Ambassador is gonna be at bookshelves. We're gonna put down. We can't actually join our seduction target at bar if we wanted to because we don't have enough sips done on the drink. And that purloin is gonna go off, I think. I think there's enough time.
There we go. We do manage to port on at least. We have a fingerprint. We're just gonna need any kind of flirt to finish this. And then supposedly banana bread, and we've got all our missions, and we don't seem to be suspicious yet. Although, I don't know if the purloin was noticed. There we go.
Yeah, it does seem like we are at least highlighting people that have drinks and that we remember are at bar. Actually, might not be remembering at bar. That us keeping that drink actually might have been a bad thing because it looked like Duke picked up a highlight in there just for having that drink still in their hand. I don't know if Scout actually had it memorized or is just highlighting drinks. Well, I guess Twin didn't have a drink in their hand, so they might have memorized.
Yeah, for Psycho's sake, we're gonna hope that was memorization. But now we've got 1 minute and 40 seconds left. We are pretty good in terms of missions, but I'm a little scared always for banana bread because the DA can do whatever they want, really. They're not in conversation right now, though, so there's not much we can do. But just getting the other missions done while we wait for the DA would be really nice. We can get anywhere into conversation with our ST here, and it wouldn't be punished.
I agree, actually. I think that this follow-up that we've stood here in the conversation. Now, okay, of course, there's the classic caster thing of always being sad whenever the spy is just hanging out in conversation for a long time and not doing something. But I do think that we were just picking up potential like flirt credit. We're going to fingerprint this book here, so this is going to be a huge moment on whether or not Scout is going to believe that the fingerprint had been smudged at all. So if it was difficult, made difficult by Twin, but that Twin actually was returning a book and had yet to put it back in. So it was sequenced in between Ambassador. We finished the flirt, so all we have is Double Agent left. Is Double Agent going to join? We're starting to nod a Double Agent, hoping to pull them in, but it does not quite work. And they actually are going to statues, it looks like. So it's going to be a while before they're in. Actually, in fact, White Dress going to statues is really going to eat up the rest of the time. I don't think we can rely on this contact. I think if anything, we are going to want to fake and do something. That fake, though, we have a real in here. We might just get shot regardless. Bummer that we had that seduction target in there. Sorry, the suspected double agent in there. Maybe we would have been able to get away with a book dump or a bug as Ambassador came through. Yeah, it seems like, though, if White Dress had come into our conversation and we've been anti-breaded, we were top shot. So honestly, it might have even been our best chance if something wacky went on the end there. We didn't have an SDA with us and we were able to do a bug or book return or something.
Yeah, we seem to be the top suspect. Whatever we did, we were probably dead. You could have tried something else, such as going to bookcase and slamming your book into red or green. But again, if we're top suspect, the sniper's just going to see that, so it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that the opportunity that I think they really had, and that maybe they can review on this a little bit, is the time between the purloin happening and then actually I think the end of the purloin related lights is like 30 seconds. And in that 30 seconds, we did nothing. And I think Scout was really processing out exactly who did what. So that 30 seconds, I think, was the most important time for us to do something like a fingerprint. Anything where we could have gotten some threat in during the parsing of that purloin. But we did stay in that conversation just a little too long. And we tested Scout on the wrong skill in that time, and Scout was able to find it.
And with Scout going up 1 point, they're now on the spy side, playing as Disney. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and I'm curious how this is going to play out here. Okay, we are going to go for another, let's see, was Scout the other person that did the flirt at statues? I can't remember. Well, we are going to get highlight for at least statue visits. Now, the interesting thing here is if there's going to be an included pairing as well as those statue visits. We put down, we only do one inspect in there, but that's totally fine. I don't think we're going to get any credit for anything like that, but I guess we don't get credit, but we don't accept the additional suspicion of possibly staying in extra time to try to get that second inspect.
Yeah, so a little scared here if we're paired. Obviously, we're also going to go to blue bookcase. Not sure what we're going to do with the book, given we're a glowing light in the party. But I think we're just going to put that book back.
Yeah, so let's see what we options have here. So we're going to rejoin our seduction target almost for sure. We have the option to contact. This is it's actually, I'm going to say it's medium. Until DA left, and then now it's a bad contact. Ooh, don't quite get it. We are just a little bit too far away for that green.
Yeah, we were too far for that seduction. I don't see, like, if you're gonna get that close, you might as well just get closer, because the sniper's gonna credit you anyway for this. So now you're gonna have to go for a third flirt, which you might get paired even further if you missed one of the greens, which you didn't, but you weren't close enough. So now you'll have to go for a third flirt. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with the book, though. Given that we're glowing, like I said, that's going to be pretty hard. But otherwise, yeah, we've got our 3 missions plus banana bread if we want to do that.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to go for a timer flirt here. Oh, but we're actually right before the flirt expired too. But just a straight up shot. All right. Well, honestly, I think you would agree. We just got bailed out of that one because that game was going to be a little bit tricky to find a finish on. Like, I mean, we still had 2 minutes, but no mission completes done. Our seduction target had just left. We were probably going to bury in like another 30 seconds just to finish the flirt, unless we tried to do something crazy in there. So
Yeah, that's a very sad shot though, because unfortunately Irish didn't do much the whole game. At the beginning of the game, they just grabbed that book from Blue, and then they went around window to window, just reading peacefully their book, and then they went back to Blue bookcase and got shot for it. Just memorization problem here, unfortunately.
yeah, I think that is right. I think it's just the fact that we might not even seen that initial book take potentially, and that we're like, wait, where did that book come from? And that we were just a little bit too quick on the shot there. I do think that like let's say we had just held on that shot. I don't think that even with that mission credit, uh, we would necessarily have taken that shot later because might as well wait for the banana bread and other things like that. But
Yeah, so now actually Scout's in a good position here, winning a full set, 3-1. But we're moving to Ballroom, which is indeed Scout's pick as well. So SykoSloth's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit, especially since this is a best of 12, so 7 wins the match. But we are going to see every game anyway. We're now playing as Rocker here on Ballroom, and we're starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
yeah, well, you're certainly right that we have to pick up the pace a little bit. We also have to maybe take a stab at something a little bit kind of either earlier in any given venue or simultaneously. Because I think the main window that I've seen available for Psycho, we have a slight catch on the path on the way through there, but I don't think it's going to be anything too noticeable. This slight window is that Scout has been really good on their processing, but it just takes them a little bit of time. So if we could take a stab at something while Scout is figuring some stuff out, that'd be great. DA leads, but I don't think we were gonna go for. I don't think we're gonna go for Banana Bread that early. It wouldn't have been the worst, but it is definitely a risk to take a Banana Bread so early on Ballroom when there's probably gonna be a better one showing up later.
Yeah, there was too much movement here. There's lots of conversations available on Ballroom. You have time generally on Ballroom to wait a little bit, not too much. We've seen games where you wait too long and the DA just does not want to go back into a conversation. But here we're just going to wait a little longer. We are with an SDA, so DA is never going to join our conversation for now. But we did get at least a green flirt, so if we can get another one, we'll be done with flirt.
Sari was our ST at least once. Has Sari been our ST every time? I almost wanna say we might be like Sari ST each time because I feel like well we sent the DA in the first game for Purloin. Okay, we do join the double agent here. But it's just interesting us going up with Sari again. That could just be a random thing, but it could also be a choice just because of the idea that we are going to Purloin here. It is going to be white. Okay, let's see where the action is from Scout. Right now, there is not very good visibility of the trade. Now the trade comes across. We have a Banana Bread coming up. That is actually a really good play because I don't know still if Scout has parsed out this Purloin. We're having some lowlights come off. I think there's still Banana Bread lowlights. We see the offer over to Ponytail, and it's coming over right now. If we haven't clocked this Purloin yet, Ponytail might get some credit. So I think if we're going to find out pretty soon whether or not this Purloin was seen, based on whether or not Ponytail gets a highlight. We might have even missed it to the point where Queen gets it, but I feel like we must have seen it by now.
I mean, we are highlight here, and we're also one of the only two, now the two highlights at the party. So this is a pretty bad position. We managed to get a white flirt off to 78%. We're going to have to flirt one more time here. We had to Purloin when we were offered because we had very little time left and no missions done yet. Now we're at 2 missions. We're still missing a 4th mission. We need to flirt one more time. There's our gulp for our drink, and we're gonna go finish our flirt and then, or go to Windows to add some time.
That is going to be tough for us if we try to add time in the beeps, of course. We have a... okay, let's say it didn't seem like we actually were going to go for that. We are going to go finish up this flirt. We walk through conversation circle. I don't actually see... We see a fake banana bread. Okay, but then it is going to be... Oh, but there's a shot that bails us out on Seek. Okay, so almost certainly we were late to that purloin. Let's actually... Well, unless I'm wrong and maybe he was the reject right before that. But let's see where Seek falls in the sequencing there. So Purloin happens here. Okay, and then it looks like the last live offer. So we have Queen, Papa takes, Tex takes, Seek takes. So we didn't have any rejects before ours. So I think that the white purloin must not have been seen for a while, and that we are just worried because we might not have actually seen it until Queen, because Queen actually took a highlight after Toby walked away from her. Ponytail never got that highlight, so I think we just caught it super late, and we were just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna shoot someone.
Yeah. Just Seek not even going to middle statues, didn't have any other inspects, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, but I think that's correct. So we're going to Seek going to side statue here. That means only 2 statues. If you don't see a swap, that's not a mission completion. So we have Banana Bread and Purloin maximum plus Flirt. Obviously, it's always hard to keep track of everything on games like these. But yeah, then Seek did not complete 4 missions here.
Yeah, Seek was also next to Queen for a lot of that time, so I have a feeling we just didn't see anything with the Purloin, and that we remember that Seek kind of was just hanging out next to Queen for a while. We might have even paired Seek and Queen a while back, but yeah, and it, ended up being the wrong shot, and I think that just came down to the Purloin, and also to the good decision for Syko to throw in a fake banana bread after the Purloin, because it really interrupted Scout's normal checks, I think. So a good gamble there from SykoSloth really played off, and yeah, another shift shot.
Yeah, also very sad at the end, the fake banana bread, 1.5 seconds after taking the shot, would have immediately put Seek at as a civilian, and instead we shoot slightly too early there.
Indeed, indeed.
Anyway, let's get into our next game now. Scout still with a small lead, but now gonna have to keep it with the spy game here. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. I've seen quite a lot of teal games. Like, I think we've had 3 teal games here.
Yeah, the secret's out that people really just like teal, just really well rounded, and just like used to be blend in the background really easily. Just kind of like one of the last people you would think about if you're naturally trying to think through some of the higher suspects. But like, teal's popularity has to have exploded. I know that I personally use teal too much, and I'm saying that on stream to try to force myself to use teal less. So yeah, very, very popular pick. I mean, like, she's been picked at least twice already in this set previously to this by Syko, but maybe there's another one that's snuck in there that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, we just like teal. Oh, that's just a white purloin. Why not? We are highlight. We have DA with us if we want to do that right now, but I think we're just... Oh, there we go. White BB as well. We're not very happy. We're shaking our camera here. We've got 3 suspects, 3 highlights. And we could knock one more out if we wanted to with Rocker there picking up the briefcase, but I think we're just going to keep our 3 suspects here.
Yeah, but kind of fun the way that Rocker did that. So I'm pretty curious if Rocker is going to get a lot of suspicion for that, or but you're right. Like if we noticed the exact moment we were picking up briefcase, we might have been able to eliminate Rocker. But now Rocker picked up what could be a fingerprint. We're just not going to get it. Like, I guess we just thought for sure it was white. So that's twice now that Scout has taken an early stab at something, which is not a bad idea. But Syko has just been ready. So the early time ad didn't work out. The early purloin didn't work out. Honestly, if either one of those 2 things was green, they might have gone a lot better for them. So Scout's decision making, not bad as spy, but Syko's just been really on top of it.
Yeah, I like the ideas in theory. Unfortunately, as you said, just Syko just getting the information before Scout. Okay, we're tied up again. And it's now SykoSloth's turn on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, we're starting at Windows, so we have the option for a time ad. It's now bad. I was gonna say it's not bad for a second ago. Oh, we're gonna get a bug on the way through, but I think Scout was in motion. I don't think actually Scout caught it. That was a huge risk because I think that our hand side that was showing was actually towards the sniper. So if the sniper was watching the hand close enough, so not looking for the arm, but the hand itself, we could have seen it. But I don't think Scout would have expected such a bold bug so early on. I feel like oftentimes if Ambassador's at Windows just facing the sniper and there's not really a conversation nearby that you can do a back-to-back bug from, you can kind of place your laser on Ambassador and just kind of intimidate out the spies from doing anything with it, unless there's like a back behind the Ambassador bug. So I am very curious if Scout even thinks it's a possibility that Seek threw a bug out there.
Yeah, it was very smooth as well with the drink. We finished our drink and just quietly exited our window pad into the bug. It was very, very nice. There's a BB here. Also very good, actually. We've only got 2 lowlights here. And we're going to be able to finish, not right now, but later, our flirt as well. And then we're just going to be missing 1 mission. And we've got 2 minutes on the clock, which is plenty of time.
Yeah, we got to be careful on this exit. Okay, now Ambassador is gone. It's like one way that we could path into that conversation with Red Dress takes us by Ambassador, and we do not want bug credit after getting away apparently with a clean one. And we had amazing pace at the beginning here. And I think that actually this is fine if we want to think about maybe going to statues first before floating. Indeed, we do. And we're going to go to center statues, which last time got Seek killed for Scout thinking that Seek went to center statues. So this is an interesting, almost meta test to see if we would dare shoot. It's going to be close to a 3 cycle, but we are going to have enough time to put it back down. I don't see any extensive animation break. We try to path in with Red Dress, but Red Dress leaves right as we come up. So our plans are going to be a little bit delayed, but we do still have plenty of time to get this flirt done.
Yeah, we've got a minute. Just take it slowly. You don't need to rush anything here. I mean, we've got a redirect here next to the Ambassador. I mean, why not? I'm not sure I like it, though. Could have just continued to our destination, but instead we're going to go now close to the ST, and any flirt will finish, unless it's red.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that because, okay, so let's say that the sniper clocks the oh no. Okay, so I'm actually a little nervous. Like 37 seconds still should be enough time to do this flirt, but SykoSloth is throwing in a lot of active idling prior to the final flirt. We go near Ambassador and very obviously don't bug. We take a drink and very obviously don't do anything with it like a purloin to kind of make it look like if we're being worried about for the seduction target, maybe throwing off the mission count. We do a seduction and we do a stop talk. If Scout is suspicious at all of us, I think we are going to get shot, but I don't think that Scout has the mission count on us from the bug in the beginning. So we took a little bit of a gamble there at the end by throwing in that much active, like obvious idling in the sniper's face. But it does pay off where seduction target is just nice enough to let us flirt, finishing with 4 seconds left.
Yeah, I was a little scared there as well for that ST leave. We waited around quite a bit beforehand. I'm not sure why we decided to do that. Like, we could have gone slightly further away from our ST, just waited in conversation instead. Although, obviously, that would have been the same result here in this case, because ST decided to leave. Didn't like us.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say is I agree where it's like, it's definitely a gamble, is I like where we placed the active idling, the throwing the sniper off of us on suspicion by doing very obviously non-suspicious things, is we placed it after we had 3 missions done. On Modern, we placed it after we had just done like 1 mission or partial on 1 mission, and then it's much better. Like, there are far fewer conditions you need to worry about if something goes wrong, if you have those 3 missions done already, and then you throw in that last thing before the flirt. So I think that was an excellently sequenced and well coherent play. It almost bit us in the end, but they do get away with it, and fantastic game. And I think Scout was close to shooting us if we gave them anything more.
Yeah, good job to SykoSloth there managing the sniper's attention. We are moving on to the last game for Ballroom here. Pretty close games. If Scout can win this one, it'll be tied. Otherwise, SykoSloth will run with a small advantage here. And we're playing this in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And what's going to be strange here is that whatever happens after this game, we're going to have the interesting dynamic of one of the most static maps you could possibly imagine, most split heavy maps possible, which is by the way, we might get credit for a bug on the entry in there. We do show our hands to sniper quick enough that we shouldn't, because if we stop that soon after a possible bug path, we go for the other bug on this one. So this is actually an interesting sequence of play. So I'm going to pause my analysis of that one, which you can do later. So we first do a bug path, show our body to sniper with enough time that we would have seen an arm sticking out if we did bug. And then on the second path out after, we do an actual longer bug where there's enough cover on the far side so that there's no sight of it being seen. So honestly, it's whether or not SykoSloth has any indication that the path itself was suspicious on going back to back with the ambassador, but otherwise, excellent bug. And I think that's really Syko's only chance, is giving the path credit.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we joined a conversation with our ST and the double agent, and both of them decided to leave in the first 5 seconds, which is really unfortunate. Instead, we're going to try a flirt. It doesn't even land. ST leaves before we can. Instead, we're going to sip our drink and try again.
Yeah, we might even go straight. We do take. Oh my god! I was gonna say, actually, I liked this decision to not go straight back with the ST again, just because you might be paired up from the windows. But we do get. We don't have a word. We call it sunshine for seduction target bailing on you. We don't have shorthand for a reverse banana split.
Oh my god!
Oh god!
That is insane. What is this party luck?
Yeah, this is bad. Okay, so the thing though is, honestly, it kind of, if this happens enough early on, at least the sequencing is such that we have time to respond to it. Timeout actually totally makes sense to this. This is actually the total, I think, boilerplate response that you should have baked in. So I think that that's an excellent idea. If you were just getting terrible party luck back to back to back, and it's not the kind of party luck that the sniper could ever see, then from the sniper's perspective, this is just a random time ad that's going to be scattered in at kind of like a unique moment that the sniper wouldn't be necessarily primed for. So that's a good response. I think that that's honestly the generic thing you should do if you have bad party luck. Excellent idea from Scout.
Yeah, the issue here is, while we do have the timeout, which is very nice indeed, we're still down to 80 seconds now, and we're missing a 4th mission, 2 more flirts at least, hopefully not more, and a contact. And we've got 70 seconds now to do all of that.
So that said, we have seen a lot of civ shots.
True, we have civ shots here. Instead, we're going to go to site statues. We don't have our fake or real BB yet. So most people don't have the missions, but once we do have that off, we could try and bait the sniper into trying to shoot someone else than us. Yeah,
I was really curious there if we were going to go for a swap, and then if the play was just going to be silent, flirt, inspect. That said, that was going to be tricky to pull off to stack on top of each other, given that we have to do 2 flirts. So, we are going to hit a green purloin in here, though. So, the beep beeps are actually never going to be slowed down. So, I don't actually know if Syko is ever going to know that there was a time ad, except for the fact that the game has just gone on pretty long here. So, we might even go for a swap as this purloin comes off. We are going to go for a swap. We get a green swap. I actually don't even know if that was better or not than a white swap. But I don't think we were actually reacting to this very quickly. We're going to just get this flirt click because, why not? Except for actually kind of why so? Because if there is any overtime, why would we give them the additional information of having that done? The swap is going to be coming off right now. There's going to be a huge reaction, and it is going to be teal, which statistically, good choice.
Yeah, if you didn't really know who to go for, I would go for teal as well. Fair enough.
And Scout's able to find an impressive win there. So I'm actually curious if so when that second visit happened, we really were behind a pillar for a lot of it, not all of it, but for a significant portion of it. But here's the I guess the baked in thing that I guess I think that I was expecting Psycho to include in their gameplay is if you have a delayed clock and Purloin has already gone off, it is either swap or it's time ad. That's the only two things. And I'm worried that when we after we got that green swap, we were at Windows. So the only other option post Purloin going off was swap or Windows, and we actually showed ourselves at both. So I think Psycho was just unfamiliar with playing from this position because we kept watching things near Purloin. We might not have actually ever seen the Purloin go off. That might actually explain a lot. If we never clocked this Purloin, I actually don't think we did. I think that must be it. I think we must have just never seen this Purloin happen. That makes more sense.
Yeah, we also had the double agent after they left. From the conversation we entered, they never rejoined another conversation. And this is the party luck we're talking about, where, yes, generally, double agent is going to rejoin because there's 5 conversation circles, but at the same time, they might as well never rejoin, and you're forced to do plays like this, and sometimes it works out. You've got a green swap, and teal gets shot.
Yeah, absolutely. So that I think that all came down to Psycho did not quite quite notice the Purloin quick enough, and so that when we saw it come off, we expected that it must have been a Purloin. We just shoot the person that was next to the person that took, and they were the reject right before it. So Scout's able to get one. Not a bad play at all from Scout. I actually liked how we pulled that together there at the end. But I think a winnable game for Psycho, but it just slips through.
Yeah, Scout with the worst party luck probably, hopefully, of this whole cast. But we are moving on to library now, where it can sometimes get worse. We are tied up here, and SykoSloth is starting off in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, are we going to actually use some of the capabilities here of Orange Stress? So Orange Stress on Library is going to give some slight palpitations to Sniper because of how slow their pathing is around the pillars. So there should be extra care given to Orange if Ambassador's a buggle position near any of the pillars. The other thing that Orange Stress has is a very slender body, and they can hide behind the pillar on the left and do some time eds at that window. So that's the classic stuff you see with Orange Stress on Library. We'll see if any of that actually happens, but I'm curious if we play into that given this pick.
Yeah, instead we're just gunning for some flirts for now, which I really do not mind. Flirts can take a while, even though we have lots of time on Library. Just want to get it done and wait for some better party luck for the other missions as well.
Unfortunately, Ambassador doesn't come by us. I think we also could have set up for a reverse bug, but Ambassador bails out to Yellow Books, so he takes a very short path. No bugging opportunities available, so instead we go to the far side of the venue and add some time here at the window, away from where most of the focus has been. So this is actually a little bit tricky for Scout to catch, especially given that it's a green test. So I believe this is going to just essentially be free. It's not the biggest deal because Library, if you get a time ad, you're not going to have much. Oh, but SykoSloth now is the receiver of bad party luck, and seduction target bails on us before we're able to get that flirt off.
Yeah, luckily we just had the time ad, so now we have a bit more time to wait for that flirt. We are being offered a drink. I suppose we're not going to do anything with it. No, there we go, reject drink. But what's our game plan here now? Double Agent is not going to rejoin a conversation for a little while. I think we're just going to go try for our flirt.
Yeah, you said game plan. I feel like, and this is definitely a problem that I have on Library, I don't form a game plan until I hit flirt and then look around for fingerprints. And then the actual game starts. And actually, this is, ooh, interesting. Did we intend for that? Okay, so we had a, I think that was just action issues. So Toby was offering us a drink. I think we turned around to get the drink, but then we went for the statue. I don't know if that was us thinking about trying to do a statue offer purloin, which are tricky to catch, or if we just were just trying to get rid of Toby. We just wanted to pick that statue up. I don't think Scout noticed any of that, but it would have drawn attention to us for sure if we were paying real close eye towards to Toby in that moment.
We did specifically request that drink, so maybe we were trying like a spy thing where an AI thing where we request a drink and then immediately try and get the statue. Instead, we're gonna do a banana split into statue, which I don't mind at all.
Yeah, I agree. I actually don't mind this. I kind of like the fact that we're covered by it. I don't think we're getting rewarded for it, but it's a nice little stab, and especially on library, where sometimes little moves like that might be not worth the risk of losing out on any civ shots and then just getting shot in the moment when you still have more gameplay to go. But library, got to take these little risks. We're going to have a potential. Nope, we don't redirect on to Teft. It would have been a lie for that redirect to have been caused. It wouldn't have actually been a proper redirect, but oftentimes you'll see that spies will take that opportunity, turn around, take the bug, and then have the bug arm still be sticking into them. Although we're pretty slow, so the bug arm actually would have been visible probably on the far side as Taft would have continued.
I believe there's a fingerprint here. Oh, we're just going to grab that book. I was getting a little concerned about the time. If we manage to get that microfilm off, though, then we would be fine. We're missing one more mission as well, which we don't really know what we're going to do here. We could purloin, but I don't love it either. We don't have any fingerprint progress. Amba is not in the best places. And then there's Swap, which we already went to 2 statues.
Yeah, I'm watching Scout's camera very closely to see. I think Scout is being honest with their laser and that they don't know where this book came from necessarily. We were seen with the book, like you could see that there was Sorry with a book over there in the corner. Are we going to go for a microfilm here in the corner here? I think we're going to get watched for it. We do seem to be catching the eye of Sniper, at least for that. And we are going not to dump into Yellow Book, which I actually honestly wouldn't have minded. Okay, we are going to get shot for that. So we did see we did know at least it did come from green. I wouldn't have minded trying to dump in yellow. If you get away with the book grab on a side shelf, people just naturally go to the green bookshelf to dump the book. And so it's a little bit too predictable. I'm curious what would have happened if we tried to go for dump on that one. I think Scout saw the rip though, just based on like the way that they kind of kept enough vision on Orange Dress to do it. So we might have just seen the rip a little bit. It's hard to tell with laser lag if we saw that rip, but they were on screen during the entire rip process.
Yeah, and I think we would have had a problem with the 5th mission here. We have 30 seconds left. We can bug, but like, again, that's more of a desperation bug in these circumstances. Purloin is kind of in the same situation here. So yeah, we were in a relatively desperate situation to get our 4th and 5th missions in.
Yeah. So even though Syko might have gotten away with some stuff early on there, I think they just eventually had to take that stab, and Scout was on it. So Scout should expect to kind of lose this one, so they might be able to throw in something a little bit spicy.
Yeah, so we have our next game here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And the funny thing is, now regardless of what happens in this game, if Scout is ahead or if Scout is behind, I am curious if they are happy or upset at their balcony pick, which will definitely be stressful regardless of what happens here. It could open up the possibility for a quick way to tie, or if they take the lead here, it could open up the if they take the lead here, it could give them a quick way to get tied back up. And if they don't take the lead, it'll probably strongly push the players out to the sides of well, one of them might win just because of the ability for there not to be a split between the missions. We got a microfilm off early here. It looks pretty clean.
Yeah, it was entirely off screen. We were seeing that bookcase though, and it's usually the second one that's a little harder. If snipers paid attention, then they're going to pay attention to the second microfilm a bit more as well. We do get a 51% flirt though, which you always like to see. And then yeah, we're doing pretty good for now.
Yeah, and not only that, but like if you're able to get an early microfilm at bookcase, just like you just get that and you get that free. Your second microfilm, you can take in a more invisible location and not receive as much suspicion for it because you haven't already been doing something shady in the first part. So like if you do like a hidden, oh, we're just gonna take it at shelf again though, and really great catch on the rotations. That was perfectly timed because we are going to be seeing that other shelf later in there. If we didn't do that right then, I think that there wouldn't have been another window where it would be fully invisible. So really great timing by Scout there. And it's still library, so we still have a lot of territory to cover here, but Scout has a line to victory here if they choose.
That was indeed a very nice transfer both times. Completely off screen. ST still being mean to us, left the moment we entered the conversation, but it's library, we have a bit more time. I would not try going to that, no, there we go. We don't want to go to that bust pad to go and get that flirt. Instead, we're going to go to side statue. We are going to get marked highlight, but I think that's just a standard inspect highlight.
Yeah, and this highlight, like you're saying, it's kind of a soft highlight, so it's not going to be too problematic. So if you get away with something like a transfer, it leaves no trace. You have no idea the transfer has gone off. I actually don't know if we're going to get this flirt.
Nope.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just on the line. Actually, I think we could just wait it because we still have to do the other parts of our sequencing right now. Because like I don't think. Oh, so I think what's off the table now is fingerprint, purloin, and sort of bug. We could still stab for a bug, but fingerprint and purloin, I think we should not do. Because we decided to go for that early inspect, so we're trading that highlight. We're gonna take this banana bread. It's not the best, but it's library, and also given our pattern here, as long as we have like 7 to 8 or 7 to 10 remaining suspects, we still have the availability of the game plan of finishing up inspect. Seduce, and then maybe trying to sneak in a swap, or maybe trying to go for like a later bug. We are going to join at book, so we're going to be at 3 different bookcases here. It's actually a good test of whether or not Syko is suspicious of one of our action test microfilms, depending on how closely we're watched here.
Yeah, I'm not sure I really like going to the bookcase for the third visit here. I don't think we really had a choice given the time remaining. We have 50 seconds and we needed a flirt. We still need another one, by the way, and we need to finish inspects as well. I guess the only real play is inspect swap here. I think we're going to join the conversation, finish our flirt, and then go for an inspect swap. Ooh, that's a mispad, but I don't think it was seen.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think it's going to be a problem for us. We do finish the flirt there. I think we got to go for the inspect kind of either way. So we could purloin into this inspect, which I honestly would not. Okay, we are going to just pick up the statue, and we are just going to go for a swap almost certainly. Here's the inspect. Here's the rotation coming off. Here's the swap. We are going to... There's not going to be enough time. Like this is well played by Scout. I don't think there's going to be any visibility on the side. Oh, there is going to be tiny bit of visibility. He's going to be able to get it off on time. He is. Oh, he is. He is able to get it off on time. Just barely. Oh my god, that was so close to working. I actually did not think that Syko was going to be able to force themselves to shoot in time because we're going to have to go around boots. Like if it wasn't just an auto shot, I thought we'd have enough time. Just barely in there. I want to actually see if Scout had the ability to swap any sooner for that to happen. We swapped pretty close to as soon as we put it down. So I don't think we could have swapped that much quicker to get to milk that much more time out of our rotations there. Honestly, I think we probably just had to wait to put down that statue just a little bit longer. I think that's the only thing that could have happened. I think it's going to be tough to know which was going to be easier for Psycho to shoot for, whether or not it's holding the statue, possibly going into a third animation cycle, but no confirmation on the statue, or if it was going to be showing the statue, but there being so little time left that would Psycho be able to find the shot in time. So I think in the moment, really hard to tell. Unfortunately for Scout, I think the other way was going to be the one better for them, but really close there. Great job by Psycho to shoot quickly because they were on like the second they had to shoot.
Yeah, that was an extremely quick shot, and Scout also mentioned it. There's the decision of putting it down or keeping it in hands. Here in this particular case, we were slightly on the side of the pad, so maybe keeping it would have been better. But again, we're talking seconds of difference here, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, but good job on Psycho for knowing this is the kind of library shot you need to get comfortable on. It's just like, I mean, no secret, I do not think that library should be any 5 of 8. I think this is like the kind of thing that can happen too often for any library any 5 of 8. I think it's too many missions. But if you're gonna be a sniper on library, you have to be comfortable with these shots because so many times spies, even in good games, like this was a good game by Scout, so many times they're just going to be forced into this position of going for this late inspect swap, and that you have to be able to find the exact timing where you're only being allowed to see that statue for a split second before shooting. So good on Psycho. Unfortunate for Scout. I mean, it's still a spy loss on library, so I don't think Scout is going to be too disappointed because it's just that they came close to stealing away a win on a tough spy map. So hopefully they don't feel too bad coming into that because they've made a really spirited run at it. But I mean, either way, we are coming into Balcony with as the final map, and like God, whoever wins this first game is going to put a ton of pressure on the person on either role in the next game.
Yeah, we've got 2 games here and 2 points to win. Each game is going to be 1 point, and it's Balcony. And Balcony is always kind of regarded as the coin flip venue. You can get 3 great greens, and it's very easy for you to win. 1 green contact and 2 green seduce, or you could just get terrible party luck like we've seen in Ballroom, and it gets very much harder for the spy. But let's start off for this first game in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Also, how horrifying. You're totally right with each win is a point now. How horrifying for it to be Balcony. It's so hard. It's so stressful. Like I don't hate Balcony, but it is extremely stressful for how much luck there is involved still. Like sometimes there's games where there's lucky aspects of it, and that kind of takes the stress away from that because you're just like, well, it's luck or not. That doesn't seem to work on Balcony. It's still super stressful on both sides.
ST is just not giving it to us. Just leaving the conversation as we join. This is the party luck we're talking about. We're down 40 seconds, and 40 seconds is a third of the time on this venue. And that's almost a flirt cooldown, so now you've got to flirt at some point, or you're going to go for the bug. We also went very close to the ambassador for that bug, so I don't think we got credited, but we could have probably taken that bug without being too seen.
Yeah. And by the way, most common guest layout for Balcony, this is the traditional easy mode layout where if you don't want to make any hard decisions, you go all tall guests, and then you make Smallman double agent so that you are incentivized to always have them in because double agent is not seen by the sniper on this map. So Smallman on with all tall characters, and you just make them paranoid about bug all game.
The party's just not giving it to us. There we go. Yeah, we're going to take the banana bread even if General's out of the conversation. We couldn't really afford to wait more here. We're hoping for a shot. Obviously, we're not going to try and finish. And the shot comes off on Duke.
Yeah, it was going to be tough in there because there's actually a lot of activity. You know what's interesting about this game is, so we don't take any flirts, right? And so you might be like, well, that seems like a losing play. One of the interesting things about us staying relatively static all game is I'm pretty sure we thought Duke was flirting with us. So us not moving gave Duke the potential for a finish there at the end. So it's a totally different way of approaching the game to normal, because normally you trying to be the fake seduction target for a potential suspect on other venues is like you have to have such a read on what the sniper is thinking. On this map, you actually can be like, well, actually, how much is the person next to me talking? Should I just stay still and make sure that they are seen next to me enough that I am a threat for being the seduction target? So we do take a huge risk by not doing any flirting in there. We could have gone for a bug late in the game, but we'll just say that if this didn't work, we probably were going to lose. And it just works out for us because of how much Duke ended up talking throughout the game.
Yeah, that's always a decision you make. Is it because people, the spy just doesn't like talking in general because that puts attention on themselves. So if you can try and avoid talking, then you have less attention on yourself. But obviously, since the snipers know that, if a guest is talking a lot, do you want to put them more suspicious or less suspicious? If they're talking for nothing, then that's probably less spy-like. Or is the spy trying to play you and just tell you, hey, I'm an AI actually, don't shoot me.
Right. Yeah. I'll mention a couple other things about it just because I like to, but we can talk about that during the next game while Scout takes over as Wheels on balcony.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think there's a natural desire when Spy is not flirting to be in the position where they're kind of far away from everybody else in the conversation circle. But that's another good instance of sometimes, again, because you are a potential available flirt target, you sometimes even just putting yourself near other people the entire game on a map of balcony can be useful just for your collateral damage. We are one of the highlights. We do have a green flirt in pocket, and we have an early low light on 2 guests. So if these low lights stick and the highlights stick, this is actually a really good start for Syko. And Scout is not able to hit the second green flirt, so we're gonna have to flirt one more time, and we're being watched fairly closely. Boots is brought back up though.
Not for long though, and there's the banana bread here. We've got one hard low light now. These are highlights for talking a lot. So Boots didn't talk for the first minute essentially, so that's why she's low lit here. We're also, or we can shoot Twin as well that just talked 3 times. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like again, this just happens on balcony. I do think that was going to be Scout is a pretty good. I want to say Scout has a pretty good green test rate, so it is tricky where you could be shooting for a 3 green here. So let's look at this real quick. So could have flirted with us or Smallman. And Smallman goes back to the exact same position. I guess that might be part of his. We were potentially we being Plane Twin, potentially flirting with Smallman or Wheels. And we could have hit a 3 green for a win there. So not necessarily the worst shot, even though it felt really early because there were 2 people. We could have been 2 flirting.
Yeah, there's lots of finishes usually on balcony, so it's not surprising to see a shot here, a civilian shot. You talk 2 times with other guests near you, and then there's a banana bread and you're in conversation, then you're a potential finisher. And then it's the decision of the sniper, are you actually the spy or are you just an AI that talked twice with a bit of a delay in between?
Yeah, and with that, we have a tie between the players. I don't think that either player is going to be too completely broken up about that because of how close a bunch of the games were. So sometimes if there was like if it was like SpyParty all the way through, except for one game that you completely threw, then you can really beat yourself up. But Scout can beat themselves up for maybe just the way that library ended, but also Syko can beat themselves up for some of the early plays early on that got them into some trouble on Modern at the beginning. So I think that overall, given the stress, I think that they're probably going to walk away with this feeling all right. So good on both of them. They still have a lot of competition left to go, but I don't think this is going to really derail any of their plans too strongly.
Yep, congrats to both players here, and we are going to have a 5-minute break to set up the next games here.